What's up, Lonerd? It's been a very long time. I was supposed to continue the story in Hawaii. Not in Hawaii anymore. I am back on the East Coast. Been here since Thanksgiving. And it's getting cold and seasonal depression because where is the sun? But anyways, I wanted to come back to reconnect with my family. I felt like I was running into a wall over there in Hawaii. That's partially what I want to talk about. When it comes to being homeless, right? After that year of traveling and hopping around and sometimes being homeless and sometimes not. Before I even get into that, oh my God, like the amount of people that have commented, have expressed opinions, but also just understanding and speaking about their story, it was overwhelming. It's part of the reason why it took me so long to even respond. One, it was just so much attention on me and my situation, but then also like, wow, this is really affecting a lot of people. But after all the homeless people that I have spoken to, I think one big thing that comes up is like the subtext. Homelessness is either a cause of, one, obviously societal structures and, you know, certain issues within how humanity, but also the government has set up life and how difficult it can be to fall off track. But on the other hand, it's family. You know, I can't tell you how many people I spoke to and they're like, oh, this person did this to me, or this person wasn't there for me for that, and this person did this, or this person passed and nobody really. And you know, it seems smaller than it is, but the importance of finding home on this earth really starts with the home that we were brought up in. And a lot of us didn't get to choose the people that we grew up with who was supposed to take care of us, who failed to do so in some way. A lot of us didn't get to choose that. And so I found that really interesting and kind of timely with the fact that I decided to come back to, you know, New York and interact with my family. The reason why I was very hesitant on, let's say, posting or continuing this story is because, if I'm being honest, I didn't really consider myself homeless. And it's partially because I did have a place to come back to, you know, and maybe that is the case for a lot of people, right? They actually do have, if it really came down to it, a home or a friend or a family member that they can reach out to help them get back on their feet. But there are more emotional and psychological reasons as to why they may not want to do that. That whole family structure, family feuding, and all of that, it tends to have a stronger effect and more lasting effect than we might expect. A lot of people turn to the streets or just externally from their family when they weren't getting that love, they weren't getting that support, and they weren't getting what they needed. So I'm not one to tell people, hey, ignore the pain that you received and just go back to your family. Maybe it's just not possible. So you got to find that healing from somewhere, whether it be God, therapy, meditation, all of the above. Not necessarily with drugs, because it's just another form of escaping. But if we want to move forward, right, one of the things that I kept toying with while I was in Hawaii was this concept of heaven and hell, heaven and hell. God intended for there to be heaven on earth. And I posted a previous video about, you know, weighing the hearts of men before you can enter, before you can feel, you know, at peace. And in that, if we assume heaven is in the sky, in that high and joyous place, but if there are things weighing heavy in your heart, you're not going to be able to enter. And it's not because you don't belong there, but it's because you can't take that stuff with you when you go in. So some of us are trying to create new foundations in our lives, step into another period in our lives. That was me. But you moving from this place of, oh, I hate my family, you know, that's gonna follow you. This whole concept that we are living from our hearts. They say that in the Bible, guard your heart, because everything you do comes from that. Home is within, you know, that heart space, that's where our spirit lives, it's within. But we're holding and harboring so many things in there that of course we don't feel at home. And then on top of that, besides not feeling at home in your own heart, in your own body, and in your own family, then you also got to deal with the fact that the world is not operating in the way that God intended, in the way that heaven on earth was ideated. It's not operating like that. So of course you're going to feel out of place. Of course you're going to feel homeless. Of course you're going to feel like you don't belong here, because there is something fundamentally wrong with either what the things you're holding on to in your heart or the way that the world is operating. I don't know. All of that said, because I'm talking a lot, I'm back here in New York and I have a lot of family. I don't think I really went into the depths of my family story on here, and it's going to take a while before I do that. But I really noticed that all of my family moves in the same way that I do. They learn to do things on their own as a survival mechanism, but we're all struggling, right? We're not really actually handling it as best as we make it look. I've tried to reach out on several occasions, individually but collectively, because I see the love is there and I see that there's a desire for peace. We're not really fighting like how we used to. There's a lot of avoidance and distance and hesitation with certain things, but it's not aggressive. So I've been pushing for this, man. I kind of enjoyed Hawaii. This was the only thing that was really holding me back, because I was both here and there at the same time. But I enjoyed it there. Communal, sort of look out for one another, take care of yourself type of vibe, the aloha. You know, it's an island thing, and that's where my family's from. So I kind of expected, yeah, like, you know, I'm gonna come back and everything's gonna be Gucci, and it's not. As far as 2023, I'm still stuck in between wanting to travel and wanting to set my foundation in a place specific, because as much as I know that I want to continue to help and bring awareness to the homeless cause, I'm realizing that I don't need to be depleted to do it. It's not sustainable for me, and if it's not sustainable for me, then I'm not going to be able to help in a way that I would like. Blase blah, but that's what's going on. I'll try to continue to be vulnerable. It's very difficult for me, and apparently my family as well. Bear with me. You know what I'm saying? We up to like 100 and something subscribers just off of those 2 videos that I put out. So that's trippy. If you notice the homeless app that I had put on one of the end of the other videos, the Chicago one, I'm still trying to build that, you know, but I need funding. I need to set my foundation. So that's what I'm working on, foundation. Hope to put out a few products where you can purchase and support so that I can continue this, because I need to start getting more into the practical and physical side of it. It's obviously still a lot to do. Just glad that y'all here with me on the ride, and I'm gonna see you next time.